Hey, greetings, everybody. Thanks for all the likes and please share, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe if you're feeling my vibe. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I was trying to do this video from my balcony. Somebody's dog was barking for at least 10 minutes. Then she came outside cussing and fussing on her porch. So now I'm right here. You might hear her in the background. But anyway, today marks the 20-something anniversary of I had twins. She passed away, and I just want to talk about how I overcame her passing away. My ex-husband was in the army, and he was in the Saudi Arabia war. To make a long story short, the army, they have these men going through the gas chamber. They have them taking pills. They're exposed to a lot of chemicals, and a lot of the offspring of the army men that was in the Saudi Arabia war, they either have chemical imbalances in their life, they have rashes. So yeah, but the government and the army like to keep that stuff hush hush, because I'm sure my children were not the only ones that were affected by the Saudi Arabia war. Okay, I just want to get that out the way. She died of a really, really bad rash, and she was a twin. And my other twin, she still has bad rashes to this day on her arms and her legs and her neck. So yeah, I think it was due to the army, the chemicals from the army. But I overcame. I just cried every night, just cried out to God. I didn't turn to drugs and alcohol. I felt like a sponge. You know how when you squeeze everything out of a sponge? That's how I felt. I just felt, when the sponge is filled with water and then you squeeze it out, that's how I felt when she died. Yeah, she was sick. Her temperature went up to 102, 103 degrees. And I took her to the hospital that day. And, they took her back to the back. And I was still doing registration. And next thing I know, they calling Code Blue. I'll never forget that day when they was calling Code Blue. And I just knew it was her. So, yeah, I was just like going hysteric, in the hospital. And, it was like a part of me just dropped. A part of me just died. And I was just crying and crying and crying, and every day was hard. Because I still had to look in my other twin's eyes. I still had to look in her eyes. It was really hard because they were fraternal twins. Because the one that died, she died with her eyes open. And my father was there. My ex-husband was there. My kids, they were little at the time. They were there for support. But yeah, she died with her eyes open. And it was so hard taking care of the other one because their eyes looked just alike. So yeah, that's what made it so hard to deal with. Yeah, but I got through it on the daily. I just cried out to God on the daily. And, when you feeling like that, really painful, drugs and alcohol only suppress it but so long. I had to feel to heal. I felt it. I felt the pain. I went through it. I cried out to God until he dried up all my tears. Some people deal with grief different. It might take you a year. It might take you 2 years. But it took me a while. I had to go see a grief therapist for when I lost her. And I saw the grief therapist for about a year. So that's how I got through it. I got through it by talking it out and, by crying it out to God. And I'm serious. You got to feel to heal. Because drugs and alcohol is not going to help you heal. Drugs and alcohol just suppress what you go through. They really don't help you. To be honest with you, all that stuff just does harm to your body. Take care of your body. All that stuff catch up to you. sooner or later. But that's not how I dealt with my grief. I just talked to God every day and asked him for help and strength every day to keep going, because I had other kids to take care of. I had three other kids to take care of. My aunts watched my children for the weekend, so I could just get away, and clear my head. I just had to get away, because it's really hard losing somebody. And that experience made me an overprotective mom with my other three kids. I admit I was an overprotective mom. Everybody like, oh yeah, Jenny overprotective. It's because of that situation. But I'm not overprotective now. I'll be like, bye y'all. do y'all thing. But yeah, back then, yeah, I was real overprotective. So if you ever lost a child, you just got to get through it on the daily, talk to God. And I was even mad at God. For real, I was even mad at God. I was mad. Like, why'd you take my child? Why'd you take my twin? But then I had to fall right back in his loving arms. He got me through it. He carried me through it. All right, God bless you. Have a nice day. And, just ask God for strength every single day, no matter what you're going through. All right. Until next time, take care.